Ant-Man and the Wasp, Jonathan Majors' Kang the Conqueror has been changed by Quantumania as he becomes the next big bad in the MCU. CGI and post-production are very important parts of the MCU because of how big Marvel Studios' superhero movies are. She-Hulk Attorney at Law proved this after making some big changes between the trailers and the final movie, which kept some of these problems. Still, Marvel Studios is still making changes to Kang, even though the movie won't come out for a few more months. Marvel just changed Ant-Man 3's Kang CGI in newest footage. Many people are talking about Jonathan Majors' Kang the Conqueror as they wait for Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania to start Phase 5 in early 2023. Since the time traveler is about to become the next big bad in the MCU, the studio will want to make sure Majors looks like a bad guy. Kang's MCU design has already been praised by fans. Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania showed a new Legacy of Ant-Man teaser at CCXP 2022. In it, a scene with Jonathan Majors' Kang the Conqueror had its visual effects, VFX, changed. Since the last trailer came out a month ago, Marvel Studios changed this shot to add more details and make Kang's costume a little different. First of all, Kang's helmet has been changed a little bit, giving it a more streamlined and comic-accurate look. In addition to the changes to Kang's helmet, the floating dish he is sitting on now has more detail than the original, which was just a smooth blue color. The background of the shot has also been changed to give the spaceship behind the time-traveling Conqueror more detail and lights. Kang the Conqueror will be a very important part of the MCU for the next 3 years, from Ant-Man 3 to Avengers Secret Wars. So, Marvel Studios will want to improve its design to give Jonathan Majors the most menacing, powerful, and in-charge look he can wear into battle. Thanos, the MCU's last big bad guy, changed a lot between the Avengers and Endgame, especially after Josh Brolin was finally cast as him. The same should be true for Kang as Marvel Studios changes the design multiple times, which can already be seen happening before the movie comes out. This will be especially true because there are likely to be a lot of variants in play, and each one will look a little bit different to make sure it stands out. Already, the difference between Loki's He Who Remains and Ant-Man 3's Warrior Kang shows how big this difference is. Also, Ant-Man 3 trailer reveals more threatening Kang scene dialogue. In new footage for Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, Kang the Conqueror's meeting with Scott Lang is hinted at. Black Panther Wakanda Forever and the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special came out last month, which marked the end of Phase 4. In a few weeks, 2022 will be over, and 2023 will be a big year for Marvel Studios. Ant-Man, one of their longest-running franchises, which will reach the end of its trilogy that year. But just like Ant-Man and the Wasp set up important plot points for Avengers Endgame, the next Ant-Man movie will do the same for the next team-up movies coming out in the next few years. At this year's Comic-Con experience in Brazil, Marvel Studios showed a special look at Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. This is because the multiverse saga is still going on. The new trailer shows some of Scott's legacy in the MCU as a whole. It also shows new footage from the final movie in the trilogy, including more of Kang the Conqueror. Check out the new trailer for Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Why Ant-Man 3 will be crucial for multiverse saga. To say the least, following the MCU's Infinity Saga won't be easy, but Marvel Studios has made it clear that the multiverse saga will either match or beat the Thanos storyline, which has been building for over a decade. After Kang's first appearance in the MCU during Loki's first season, Marvel Studios gave us a taste of Jonathan Majors' huge supervillain. But as important as his first appearance in the Disney Plus show was, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania will be the first MCU movie to really get to know his character. Since the quantum realm is connected to the multiverse, it makes sense for Kang to be in the next Ant-Man movie. Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is the end of the franchise starring Paul Rudd, but it's also the start of Kang's master role in the multiverse saga. Because the MCU is about variations in an infinite number of realities, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania can do something unique by telling the story of not just one version of Kang, but several. Even though it hasn't been said how many different versions of Kang will show up, it seems unlikely that Marvel Studios wouldn't have Majors play a few different versions of his MCU villain in the film. Even though Phase 6 will be Kang's big moment, especially in Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, and most likely Avengers Secret Wars, it will still be interesting to see how far he gets in Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. With the multiverse allowing them to go so far, there is a lot to look forward to with Kang, especially since Majors is so good at playing him. Quantumania doesn't say where he will show up after Ant-Man and the Wasp. It seems likely that Kang will show up in at least one more MCU movie, if not two, before taking the lead in Avengers The Kang Dynasty. With just a few months left until Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania comes out, the MCU will soon know more about Kang. Ant-Man 3 director confirms that Kang the Conqueror is a bigger threat threat than Thanos. Peyton Reed, who is in charge of the upcoming Marvel movie Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, has said that Kang the Conqueror is one of the most dangerous bad guys the MCU has ever seen. Reed said this at the Brazil Comic-Con Experience 2022 panel, where Kevin Feige, Evangeline Lilly, Jonathan Majors, and Paul Rudd were also present. Lilly will play the Wasp, and Rudd will play Ant-Man. Majors will play Kang, Marvel's new big bad. After putting out a lot of movies in its ongoing multiverse storyline without a real threat, Marvel is finally putting out Kang the Conqueror, one of the most powerful bad guys in Marvel Comics. Reed had said in an interview before that the villain would have a big effect on the MCU. In the Disney Plus show Loki, a version of the same character was first introduced. He was called He Who Remains and was the only person powerful enough to stop a war between all the universes. Now one of his different forms will have a bigger role in the next Ant-Man and the Wasp movie, called Quantumania. Reed says that this movie will be a great way to start the fifth phase of the MCU, especially since the main bad guy, Kang, is scarier than all the other bad guys in the franchise, even Thanos. He also said that the Kang we saw in Loki is not the same one we will see in Ant-Man 3. What he said, "I think the Kang the Conqueror in our movie is very different from He Who Remains in Loki. Even though they are both variants, they are very different people. Kang is a person who controls time, but he doesn't waste his energy. Ant-Man and Wasp will find out for themselves that he is a very, very scary person to deal with." How is this so? Reed didn't say more about how Kang will be a more evil character than Thanos, but it's hard to imagine a more evil character than Thanos, who killed half of all life in the universe before the Avengers stopped him. But Kang is a complicated person. He can plan and fight just as well as Thanos, but he has access to more advanced technology, like devices that let him travel through time and battle armor. On top of that, Kang has an army of soldiers that can give the Black Order and the Chitauri a run for their money. Kang might just live up to expectations. Feige, who is in charge of Marvel, has a lot of love for Majors. He says that Majors is the best actor for the role of Kang. During his speech at the event, he also talked about how hard Majors works to do his job perfectly. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is the third movie in the Ant-Man series. It will be released by Marvel on July 6, 2018. In the movie, the main characters will meet Kang the Conqueror when they go to the quantum realm by accident. Kang wants them to do bad things, and when they say no, they put themselves in the path of the most dangerous bad guy since Thanos. Michael Douglas, Michelle Pfeiffer, David Dastmalchian, and Randall Park will all be back as Pym, Janet, Cassie, Kurt, and Jimmy Woo, in addition to Rudd and Lilly. Catherine Newton and Majors are also in the cast. They play the roles of Cassie and Kang the Conqueror, respectively. Kang winning in Quantumania would repeat Infinity War's Thanos twist. Kang could also win when Ant-Man and the Wasp fight him at the end of Quantumania, which is another possible outcome. That would be like how Thanos won at the end of Avengers Infinity War, when he beat every Avenger in his way and used the snap to wipe out half of the universe. Seeing Thanos think about his victory while erasing half of the Avengers was one of the most shocking things to happen in the MCU, and one of the best parts of the Infinity Saga. Ant-Man and Wasp losing to Kang in Quantumania can be seen as a similar twist, though on a smaller scale. Thanos' victory in Infinity War made Avengers Endgame a must-watch, and Kang's victory in Quantumania would set up the Kang dynasty. Kang made a big impression in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which can raise expectations for the next Avengers movie and make Kang seem like a big enough threat for the Avengers to get together on the big screen again. Ant-Man and Wasp might not be able to stop Kang the Conqueror in the quantum realm, putting the whole multiverse in danger. This is similar to how the Avengers couldn't stop Thanos during Infinity War, letting him complete his plan. Are you as excited as we are about the new Ant-Man movie? Comment below. Well, that's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Till next time, cheers!